Hello, I'm Lara Kılçarslan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Tensions between the United States and Venezuela are rising sharply. Washington is defending its controversial military campaign targeting boats in the Caribbean. A strike on a so-called drug-smuggling boat back in September has raised accusations of violating international law. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says the operation, where survivors of an attack were targeted, unfolded in the fog of war. He claims that US military personnel did not see the survivors, and that has sparked anger online.
Trump administration looked through their surveillance drone, looked through their comms, whatever, saw two survivors clinging to a plank of wood, adrift at sea, having just been bombed, and they bombed them again. They bombed a civilian ship, which, by the way, war crime anyway, but then they saw that there were two survivors adrift on a plank of wood. US naval law literally stipulates, if there are survivors from a US bombing, you have to arrest them. You cannot bomb them again. You cannot double tap. The US double tapped. They bombed them once and then they bombed the survivors, trying to understand who was responsible, who was there, who knew. Trump denies knowing anything. Apparently, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, claimed he wasn't there. Then a video surfaces where he's bragging about it. Now he claims, I was there for the first strike, I wasn't there for the second strike. Mind you, they happened within moments of each other. Regardless, he is responsible. This is a war crime.
The controversy comes after the Trump administration bombed 21 boats, killing more than 80 suspected drug smugglers so far. It has also doubled the reward for information, leading to President Nicolas Maduro's capture. US warships remain within striking distance of Venezuela, adding to pressure and uncertainty. And in Washington, lawmakers who have tried for years to rein in President Trump say they will push for a congressional vote if the administration launches any attack inside Venezuela. President Trump also declared Venezuela's airspace closed without further details. That has sparked online speculation that the US is pushing the region closer into war.
I do believe that an invasion of Venezuela is likely. I didn't say that it was going to happen. I'm saying that it could be a very real possibility.
We are trying to install the same U.S.-aligned oligarchy that used to run Venezuela up until 1998 before Hugo Chavez came in and ruined their plans. And Maria Corina Machado is a direct product of that same oligarchic system. Maria Corina Machado, the same woman who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, which should tell you everything you need to know about how scripted this world is that we live in, is a daughter of that interconnected network of elite families. This invasion or intervention or operation or whatever they want to call it is simply another attempt to bring back that system.
This war is going on and the president is trying to end it, not because, listen, we got a million things to focus on in the world as a country, but he's the only leader in the world that can help end it. And that's why even as we speak to you now, Steve Woodcock is in Moscow trying to find a way to end this war to save lives of 9,000 people.
Donald Trump is the oldest serving president in US history. And after that viral clip of him fighting sleep in a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, people are questioning his energy levels. But online, he's clearly wide awake. On Monday night, the 79-year-old went on a full-blown Truth Social rampage, posting 160 times in under 4 hours. That's basically 2 posts a minute. His late-night blitz was the usual mix: conspiracy theories, digs at political rivals, and a generous dose of self-praise.
He posted a video of the president of Venezuela speaking with a fake caption that said he surrendered to Donald Trump and turned evidence over that Biden shipped gangs into the United States. That's not what Maduro said. He actually attacked Trump in this speech, and the speech is from February. Here's another one. He posted a conspiracy theory from Alex Jones where he says Michelle Obama may have used Biden's auto pen to pardon people, which is insane. He also reposted someone claiming that Nancy Pelosi planned January 6th 2 years ahead of time. He reposted somebody calling for a military tribunal for President Barack Obama. He reposted this Barron Trump news account, which is based in Europe and is spreading conspiracies. And then he posted this from a random account on Twitter that's calling for the criminal prosecution of President Barack Obama for sedition and other crimes. And that all took place within an hour in the middle of the night.
The war in Sudan is the world's largest displacement crisis. About 12 million people have fled their homes, and more than half of them are displaced. Yet, unlike the genocide in Gaza, Sudan's war is not being broadcast on social media in real time. The war in Sudan is one of the world's most devastating emergencies. Everything from food, water, and medicine is in short supply. Images of suffering are being relayed by aid agencies and international news organizations. And this has led to the creation of AI-generated images and videos that are being widely circulated on social media. Some are misleading, others provide cover for the perpetrators of the heinous crimes.
This is a gentle reminder, request for people to please not generate AI photos, videos, content of Sudan or of any other conflict. You don't need it. We don't need it. Unfortunately, there is plenty of footage, plenty of photos and videos of actual people going through actual, unspeakable, horrifying hardship. A quick Google search, a search on any of these apps will give you exactly what you're looking for. Creating and sharing or posting AI content does nothing but spread misinformation and contribute to the massive, I mean massive, disinformation campaign currently happening and has been happening for almost 3 years of war. By creating AI content, you are aiding people to erase their crimes. You are aiding folks to make the claim that whatever footage they chose to post on the internet of the horrible things they did are nothing more than AI fake news.
It's been a year since United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was killed. Now, the main suspect, Luigi Mangione, is back in court. He has pleaded not guilty to state and federal charges. Both carry the possibility of the death penalty. At a pre-trial hearing this week, his attorneys argued that key evidence, including a gun and a notebook seized from his backpack, should be thrown out. The hearing now centers on one question: did prosecutors obtain that evidence illegally during Mangione's arrest?
Lawyers trying to get key evidence thrown out, and if they succeed, the prosecution is in trouble. Quick recap. Luigi is suspected of unaliving United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Police officers received a tip that the suspect was at the McDonald's. Police pulled up to that McDonald's already convinced that Luigi Mangione was guilty, 100% sure of his guilt. So they walk in and they start interrogating him off rip. And as you can see in this photo, he's cornered. So the police get in there, they start asking, what are you doing in New York? Give me your ID. They place him in cuffs. He is not free to leave. Then one officer gets the bright idea to reach for the backpack. The officer opens it and searches the backpack. Mind you, at this point, no Miranda warnings, no search warrants, no nothing. Inside that backpack, the officer finds a gun and a journal. The journal is important because prosecutors are now claiming that this contains confessions and motives for why Luigi Mangione would target the healthcare CEO. And suddenly, when that officer finds that weapon in there, they start scrambling because that officer knows that she has to come up with some justification for searching that bag without a search warrant. So the officer says, oh, I'm checking to make sure that there are no bombs in here. Oh, so now you're a bomb expert. Then why didn't you call the bomb squad? According to the legal filings, another officer on the scene says we probably need a search warrant for that. But instead of getting a search warrant, the police take the bag back to the precincts and continue going through it. 7 hours later, they finally get a search warrant to search the book bag that they already searched and know full well what's inside. I've seen several seasons of Suits, and I don't think that's how this works. So, Luigi Mangione's lawyers are arguing that the gun, the bag, and the journal at the very minimum need to be thrown out because the officers violated his constitutional right. The whole prosecution is shaky. If that evidence is kicked out, the gun, the book bag, the journal, the alleged murder weapon is gone, the bag is gone, and the journal that prosecutors say is basically a confession is gone. And then all of the strongest evidence linking Luigi Mangione to the crime disappears, making the case a whole lot harder to prove.
Would Timothee Chalamet really block out time in his packed schedule to pose as a mysterious British rapper, release some singles in a Scouser accent, top the UK charts and not tell anyone? Well, the internet would very much like you to believe he would. A rumor blowing up online claims the Oscar-nominated actor is secretly the man behind hip-hop artist EsDeeKid. The evidence is pretty flimsy. Other than that, the top half of their faces look kinda similar. Since EsDeeKid wears a balaclava to keep his identity hidden, everything else is guesswork. Fans also think they have shopped at the same scarf store.
This moment became the start of a huge online theory linking Timothee to the anonymous rapper EsDeeKid. People said the whole thing began when a girl shared a clip of Timothee standing at the back of the venue where he was performing at. She said he had no reason to be there unless he was secretly connected to him. From there, the theory grew fast as people started pulling old clips of EsDeeKid and pointing out the similar clothing pieces he and Timothee both own. Some fans even said the eyes look the same since EsDeeKid only ever shows the top half of his face. Online posts then claimed that Timothee could easily copy a British accent because of his acting background. Others said the entire idea seemed unreal because EsDeeKid talks about experiences that do not match Timothy's life.
Prove everywhere that your boy is the best. Take a look at my face, do a cosquare test.
Social media has a secret list of words you're not allowed to say. At least that's what many people think. Online, nobody dies. They get unalived. Guns turn into pew-pews, and the pandemic is called a panini or a panorama. That's according to algospeak, the strange, self-centered language the internet has invented to stay on the right side of the algorithm. But where did it come from? Why are people doing it? And does any of it actually work?
People, they love posting online. They can't get enough of it, but they want views for it, damn it, and they don't want anything to sabotage their chance of getting views, especially those sneaky social media algorithms. And so people have slowly adopted what has come to be known as algo speak, where you try and trick the algorithm by not saying supposedly forbidden words and instead substituting them for cheeky and incredibly cringe replacement words. Now,
music festival is unfolding, and yes, we gotta call it a music festival to ensure that the algorithm shows you this beautiful concert, otherwise we risk this video getting taken down.
The basic idea is that platforms like TikTok, where it is very prominent, have these incredibly intelligent algorithms that can pick up on the exact words you use and punish you accordingly. But if you use a different word, suddenly this incredibly advanced algorithm is completely tricked and has no idea what you're talking about. Do you honestly think the TikTok algorithm doesn't by now know the word unalive? If you search the word unalive on TikTok, it gives you like resources and a number for the Samaritans. Like, it understands what that word means. But also you can just search for the word kill or murder and videos will pop up that have millions of views. You can search the word gun and not only are there videos of people talking about guns, there's videos of people with guns firing the guns and being like, yay, I love my gun, and they'll have like 1 million likes. They state that they don't actually have a banned words list, right? They are very clear that we do not have a list of words, no matter what anyone says. What they do say basically is that it's all about context. You can say the word murder if you're doing a news report about murder, but you can't say the word murder if you're making a video where you're like, here is a list of people I am going to murder, because the context is a lot darker there. So TikTok actually lists a series of things that you'd think would be banned: dieting, extreme fitness, sexual suggestiveness, sadness, like sharing sad quotes, and over-generalized mental health information. And they say that this content is not banned, but they do not like tons of it all at once. Then all the obvious stuff is actually banned. Things like shocking graphic content, slurs, danger. You never say at any point that you cannot say kill, dead, murder. It's all context. Now, ultimately, all of this is just a result of TikTok and all these platforms not being transparent enough. In a way, I understand why TikTok is not super explicit about this thing is banned, this thing isn't, because of course the second you give people structure and guidelines, they will then figure out how to circumvent that. They want that to be a little bit of vagueness just so they can enforce stuff properly, because otherwise you get people making the worst content ever and being like, sure, it's technically allowed.
And speaking of how the internet bans language, the Oxford Dictionary has just revealed its word of the year, rage bait. The term refers to content designed to deliberately annoy you, offend you, or push your buttons, all to boost engagement. It's similar to clickbait, but the whole point of rage bait is to get under your skin. Oxford says usage of the term has tripled in the last year. It beat out 2 other finalists to win the title, Aura Farming and Biohack.
Excuse me, there's 2 sets of dishes.
Luke, I'm not your maid. Get it yourself. You better be joking.
Morgan, there's another dish.
And I'm
Please.
And the internet's influence doesn't stop there. The Cambridge Dictionary picked parasocial as its word of the year. It is described as those one-sided relationships people form with celebrities online. And Collins Dictionary went with vibe coding, which means building apps or websites by describing them to AI instead of writing code manually. And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.